Excuses show, our very first episode. I'm Julie Watson and I'll be your host for the next 8 weeks for the pilot series. So each week we want to get down to the nitty-gritty of why so many businesses fail in the first 2 years. So our aim is to help people to take action. Everyone knows what to do, but they're just not doing it. So we want to help them become stronger than their excuses. So we're going to offer not just inspiration from the panel, but we're also going to teach people some tools that they can really use in their own business or community organisation. Okay. Just before I start, I'd like to just recognise that we're meeting on the land of the Darkinjung people and that we thank them and really respect them and their elders, past, present and emerging. So now I'd like to introduce my co-hosts. Firstly, Sharon Burgess. Welcome, Sharon. Sharon is the coordinator of the local Central Coast Community and Business Women's Network, and this is a subsidiary of the Iris Foundation, which is an organisation that brings awareness to suicide prevention. And Sharon also works at the One Neighbourhood Centre. She's a very busy lady, so welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Looking forward to sharing some tips and tools for local businesses and community groups as well.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Thanks, Sharon. So it's great to have you as part of the show. So next, please welcome Adam Rice. Adam is the Principal Director at AJR Counselling, Coaching and Consulting. He is a credentialed mental health clinician. He's an NLP Master Practitioner, a psychotherapist and co-joint lecturer at the Faculty of Health and Medicine at the University of Newcastle. That's a mouthful. His business is based in the beautiful Budgie on the Central Coast. Welcome, Adam.
Thanks, Julie. I'm looking forward to sharing some really good motivational techniques for people to get out there and get out of their comfort zone. So thanks for having me.
That's great, yes. So it's really good to have you both on the show as co-hosts and supporting the show. So now, Sharon, could we start by introducing the first of our special guests?
Yes, our first special guest today is Davies-Cooke, founder of NDC Coaching and Training. So Nico and I have met on many, many occasions, and we're both very involved with networking and supporting women in business here on the coast, and we're into empowering women as well. So very welcome to you, Nico.
Thanks very much, Sharon.
It's great to be here.
And I'd also like to introduce Daniel Farmer. Daniel Farmer is the General Manager, Central Coast Industry Connect. And Daniel's worked in both media and business organisations and has a wide connection on the Central Coast through his involvement in networking over many years. So welcome, Dave.
Okay, it's great to have you both here on the show. Thank you so much for joining us at this early hour. But for this, our first show, I just want to give a little explanation about the show and also so people can understand what we aim to achieve by holding the show. So it's an 8-week pilot program and we're filming in front of a live audience. Hi audience. And we are also in a real live office situation here at the Nexus Hub. So it's a co-working space and we thank Nexus for supporting us on this. There will be people coming and going into their offices and into their workspaces. So if we have some distractions, we've already decided that we will just be stronger than our excuses. But we really, we also appreciate all of our sponsors and you'll see them coming up on the screen. But we really want to, in particular, thank AJR, Counselling, Coaching and Consulting, Adam's business, for being our primary sponsor throughout the series. So we couldn't do it without the support of all the sponsors, so thank you.
Okay, every week we will have a theme, and every week we will have 2 special guests who will make up the panel of the 5 to discuss the topic. Although the topics and discussions suit anyone wanting to achieve their goals and stop making excuses, our discussions will be around how this helps micro, small and medium businesses, as well as community organisations, not-for-profits and local charities right here on the Central Coast.
And by sharing our personal experiences and insights, we're hoping we can help to give you a better mindset, a can-do attitude, and the tools to support you to push yourself outside your comfort zone. Our high-calibre panel will not only motivate and inspire you, but we'll wrap up every show with a tool that you can actually take and use and go forward to achieve your goals. entrepreneurs make it happen, while the rest of their ideas in their own head is just good to talk.
It is. So, to let you know what's in store for the coming weeks, for the next 8 weeks, I'm really excited to announce that some of our guests are the Deputy Mayor of the Central Coast. We have the President of the Wyong Regional Chamber of Commerce. We have the Regional Director of the New South Wales Business Chamber, Central Coast. And we also have a lawyer, a marketing consultant, a colour and fashion consultant. We have a mobile banker, an interior designer, an international keynote speaker, radio announcer, authors, and many more business leaders and community leaders from across the coast. So keep watching. We've got an incredible show lined up today, and today it's going to be perfect for people who are feeling like they're the only ones that are not pushing forward and they start to become overwhelmed with their business. So our topic, as you can see, is isolation will kill your dreams. Get out there and network. So please be aware that you can ask questions throughout the show on your social media, whichever social media platform you're watching on, because from 7 till 9, myself and some of the panel will be available live on the day of the broadcast to answer your questions straight away, but of course we'll be available to answer questions all throughout the week, the following week. So please support the show by asking, commenting, liking, sharing and all of that. We want to help as many businesses as possible. So let's start. We want to know why so many people get started with such enthusiasm and then their dreams just fade away. So I'm going to start with you if I can, Daniel. Why is it that just when we need the most amount of support and help, we seem to isolate ourselves?
It's a really good question. It's interesting and quite profound that this amazing concept idea, business idea, ready to start a business, and we get all excited about that. But then we see this, and we've been in business for so many years, we see so many people that do isolate themselves. So quite often when I've had this discussion with businesses, there seems to be this concept in people's mind that we need to have our product, our service, our idea, our business finished, ready to slap a label on a lunchbox and sell before we go out there and network. But it's quite often in that startup phase, in that production phase, in that ideation phase where we need that support and help. And obviously we might be talking to, there's IP challenges there and what have you, but that is the real time that we need to build our network. Quite often we're talking about networking. People think about it's going to an event, just flicking out some business cards. Now that's the networking, but it's about the network that we build to create that opportunity to collaborate. Yeah, it really, really makes a big difference. And again, waiting until that time when okay, we're ready to go to market, it's quite often too late to build that network that we really need. Sure, to go out and sell to a lot of people, but that support, the people that have done it before, that have been in your shoes, and can help you guide and make less mistakes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Nico, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, look, I can resonate totally with what Daniel's just said. I think so many people get into the idea of perfectionism, and perfectionism is such a crap standard to have. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to use that.
Yes.
That's fine. And I know that in my own experience, it was very much a case of I've been raised from childhood to be a very independent person, and therefore you sort of cut yourself off from allowing yourself to ask for help. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And just the whole sort of thing of do it by yourself. If you can't do it by yourself, then what are you trying to do?
Sometimes a little too proud to ask or to think
Yes.
you need that sort of help.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep, I understand that.
Yeah, I think sometimes there might be like a little bit of a sense of failure, especially if it's a new business venture or a new idea that comes up. And we are looking for that perfectionism when in fact, that's not what we need. We need to be real, and there is that fear of failure. And being able to go out and network with people, especially, will get the product actually selling before you even make it. That's my thought about it anyway.
It sort of evolves.
Yeah, it evolves out of that. But we can, I think sometimes, and I know I've done it too, I get stuck in the idea and not know where to go next. But off the networking, there'll always be somebody there that will be able to help you make that next step.
Yeah. Sharon, do you have people, when you're organising a networking event, that you find sometimes they're not coming along because there's some blockage or something holding them back, or?
Well, we do get emails from, especially women in business that have, said, Sharon, I'm working from home, I just feel so isolated, I'm not really sure whether this is for me or not. And it's like, come along, we will look after you, and there's people there that will support these women especially. So it's all about building relationships and building that network in your community, very important.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Adam, you might be able to elaborate on this. For some people, it seems easier to be stressed and to live with that stress than it is to actually do the work that's required to change a habit, or the habit of procrastinating, or the habit of even eating poorly, all those sort of habits, including isolating and not wanting to go out somewhere and learn that new skill. It's actually easy to go, you know what, I'll just stay here and live with this stress.
It's a really interesting point that you brought up, because anxiety is probably the most common thing that will actually keep us stuck. And the most interesting thing is that when we've got a really good idea or a good business idea, is that we can actually feel what we think is anxiety. But anxiety is exactly the same chemical is released for anxiety as it is for excitement. And sometimes we can get that excitement mixed up. But anxiety is actually the same feeling.
So I wasn't being anxious about
No, you're excited. You're excited. So sometimes being able to reframe and go, you know what, actually this is an exciting opportunity. Let's just take that first step and get out there. But anxiety, we can get mixed up between the two.
And fear is a little bit
anxiety is fear. But managing the state, and I think we've spoken about that before, managing the state, getting into a different position, knowing that there's no such thing as failure, only feedback, but standing tall, head up, and then you can change how you actually feel internally from externally changing.
Yeah, it's really all good information, isn't it? All right, so let's go over to something more positive now, which is what are some of the benefits that can be experienced from networking, including just simply going out there and socialising and being with other people. Nico, can I start?
Oh, well, I've found it immensely beneficial from the point of view of when I arrived on the Central Coast a couple of years ago, I knew absolutely no one except my sweetheart. So it was essential for me to create a network, as it were, to meet people that I could collaborate with, that I could learn from. Because the shortest way to success is actually by sort of like standing on the shoulders of somebody who's been there before and saying, hey, how did you get that? How did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the key benefits that I've found from getting out and meeting people, creating also my own little network by using social media platforms like Meetup and stuff. And running events myself.
That's how I first.
That's how we first
through a meetup.
Yeah.
And then we've collaborated. We
Yeah.
are
still collaborating.
That's amazing. And Sharon, you organise lots of networking currently. So what's the importance that you see with people?
Oh, well, I just love how everybody supports each other, especially with just some examples. We've had a lady that moved up from Sydney, didn't really know anybody, much like yourself, Nico, and we introduced her to the local Tukel RSL, and they made a bit of a relationship, and she was a mobile travel agent. She had a travel expo up there. So through coming through the networking, meeting people, I also linked her in with her grad supervision up there as well, and she was able to hotspot out of their office once a week, and so lots of great stories.
It really is incredible. I'm quite a social person, which I tend to, I like networking, but people think that networking is harder for shy people, and I've realised that sometimes I tend to talk a bit too much. Who would have known? But that doesn't help me when I'm networking, because I'm not learning anything and I'm not listening to people properly. And sometimes it's because I feel like if the conversation gets quiet, I need to be the one always prepping it up. So how does someone that's a talker learn more at networking? Adam, what would you think?
I think it's, I'm not the same as you. I think sometimes I get a little bit nervous, or I'm more introverted when, especially being in business, I'm more extroverted in socially, but I find myself more introverted in business, especially when I'm networking with people I don't know. Actually, I find silence is golden. So I hear a lot more if I'm silent. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
By listening to what other people are doing, and just like you said, you know, how did you do that? How did
Being really curious.
really
about
curious about
Yes,
what other
yeah.
people do. It's a really good way of being able to move forward.
Silence is golden, I like that. And another thing someone taught me recently was just that, to always say, tell me more.
Yeah.
When you say that to someone, it means you're listening, and that not only are you listening, but you want to continue to hear more, and that. So I'm trying to use that a lot, and people are so interested when you ask that question. What about you, Daniel? Now, Daniel's organised many networking
Just a
events.
few, yes. Yeah.
Business in
Of
particular,
course.
so.
I think, and to my earlier point too, it is sort of also break away from what we consider networking. The traditional networking events are fantastic, but we need to consider that everything is networking, just like we say we're always selling, right? If you might go on instead of working from home, you're working from your coffee shop. Don't just be working in the corner there, go and introduce yourself to the owner, because they might have a supply network that you can actually tap into as well. Because when you network, it's really important to understand your goals around that. You don't go to a business meeting and not prepare. Or you go to networking and you prepare. What do you want to achieve? It's quite often the base standard of networking is we're selling product, we've got to sell our concept, and we turn up in a conversation like this. We hand our card around and we go, I do this, cheers, and off you go and move to the next person. Most of the time this comes across rude. What we're trying to do is actually understand people and create that valued network, which we've all just demonstrated today. And for me, there's a lot of things over there. One, learning, you mentioned it earlier.
Yes.
So providing some education, because let's face it, you know, you might be a psychologist, you might be a manufacturer, whatever you do, but you're not a lawyer, you're not an accountant, you're not a specialist in another field, so you can learn from other people, but that leads to finding suppliers. We can't do it ourselves in business, and if we can find suppliers and find a network that we can collaborate with and work together, well, that's the other benefit of networking. Actually find people to work with. Rather just ring them up off Google and go, I just need a service, and there's no actual relationship there. Isn't it better when you met someone?
Absolutely.
And that follow-up Monday, hey look, thanks very much, it was great to meet you last Thursday night. Listen, I need some work done here, what do you think? You've already got that open dialogue, which is fantastic.
Yes.
Yes, and also a little bit of, even if you don't know the person very well, the fact that they're networking in a group with you, that is a trustworthy or a prominent group, then you know that they've got some sort of credibility. They don't want their name, they don't want a poor name for themselves. So by just choosing someone within that network rather than just Joe Blow that you've never met anywhere else is so much better, because they're not a bad name for themselves. But one other thing I was thinking of is that I've always been positive, and I meet a lot of other people that are chatty and positive. That doesn't necessarily equate to being confident, because I was never confident in my own head when I'd go back home after networking. I'd still have the fears and doubts, and I'm like, maybe this won't work. So I've now become confident. I've learned that taking that risk is worth it. So I think we have to keep that in mind when we're networking, that just because someone seems confident, they're not necessarily going home and having that same confidence in their own head.
I think there's a difference between confident and confidence. Like, confident is that you already kind of know what to do, but confidence is actually going through with the act despite what's going on around. And I think that builds into confidence.
Yes, okay. Yeah, very good. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next question, which is, what are some of the ways that we can move from isolation to connecting? What can we do to begin that process of getting out of the rut and starting to socialise or to network? Adam, you'll probably want to start with this.
Actually, I saw a good saying the other day, and I thought that was actually quite good. So the best way to predict the future is to create it. And a lot of the time, sometimes especially when we're networking, we're meeting people that we don't know, and we're in new situations, we actually feel uncomfortable. So, but often being comfortable, being uncomfortable just means that change is happening and you're changing and evolving as a person as well. And that's probably a really important key is to just remember to be comfortable being uncomfortable. It just means change is happening.
And that you're creating.
And that you're creating it.
Yes. Nico?
Well, I think that the key thing really here is to actually ask for help. And so find someone that you can ask and put your hand up and say, you know, how do I meet this person or that person? And just take that first step. Yeah.
The first step, that
Yeah,
is the hard.
It is the hardest part, but once you've sort of stumbled across that little line, then you can sort of inch your way forward. And there may be a little bit, sort of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but, you know, keeping a little bit of momentum forwards.
Now, I'm going to mention something that I've used, if I can just take a couple of minutes. This is a tool that I use to actually get started, because that is often the hardest thing to do. And this is something, I know that it works, because I've been using it for a couple of years, and if anyone knows me, I've progressed in the last couple of years a lot more than I have in the however many years before that, because I decided to start taking action. And what I do is, it's a little brain hack. So to explain this, there's 2 parts to it. The first part is that when you hear yourself doubting yourself, oh, I don't know if I can go to that networking event because I'm just not sure. I'm not sure that I can, you know, get out there with people, or you might not have, think you haven't got enough money, or you haven't got enough anything, whatever the fear is. But as soon as you hear yourself saying, I should, or I shouldn't, if it's a habit you're trying to break, you shouldn't have that chocolate, that's when straight away, a way to confuse your brain out of the old habit saying, oh, but it's easier just to stay here. Oh, it's safer here in my comfort zone. So to trick your brain before you go into those old habit thoughts, what you can do is actually imagine yourself writing the words, I can do this. Now, this is not about affirmations. What it's about is imagining doing it with your left hand, or the opposite hand to what you write with. Thank you. So using your opposite to the natural hand, I can do this. Even just imagining it is hard. You have to use your prefrontal cortex. You have to use your thinking brain to do that. So you can't be thinking negative thoughts. You can't be thinking, oh, but I don't want to do it. So as soon as you hear yourself, I should really book in for that networking event, and you know you're going into the doubt, you go, I can do this. Left, other hand. And then you straight away, the second part of this is you have to have an anchor thought. And this is very important. The anchor thought is something you would set up, for instance, in this case of networking. You imagine yourself at a networking event, you see all people around, and you see yourself shaking hands with someone and really smiling and saying, thank you so much. I'm so glad I came tonight because I never would have known that if I hadn't met you and talked about that. It doesn't matter what it is, but you know that something exciting has happened because you went to that event. So another part of it is that you must move. So to just recap on that, as soon as you feel yourself saying, I should do this, and you start to go into a negative thought, think of yourself writing, I can do this, just because they're 4 positive words that you can write and it's easy. You can even go and pick up the pen if you're in a situation and it feels weird writing. You can even write it if you want, but you've distracted your brain, and then you go, what was my thought? I'm going to be walking into that networking event, shaking hands and saying, I'm so glad I came and something really exciting's happened. And then you move. So you physically stand up, because that changes your physical state. And then everything starts to happen. 80% of the time, correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, you will continue to do it. You will go to your computer and book that, or you will put your shoes on and go for that walk, or you will shut the fridge door on the chocolate or the cake. So maybe you could.
Oh, it's a really good example of actually managing a state. But you've mentioned 2 things there that I really do a lot for myself too. One is managing my state, but your thought about actually taking your left hand and writing something is actually nearly swapping, left brain hemispheres over. So you're obviously becoming more creative.
Okay.
The other thing is, instead of going from a mode of necessity, which is like the I should, I have to, if you go from a mode of possibility, Benny, that's not us bringing choice. So I could do that, I can do that. So you've done both of them in that, so that's a really good technique.
Yeah, that must be why it works.
Yeah.
And I used that when I started saying, I'm going to go overseas. I didn't know how. I didn't have the money at the time, but I decided, and I quit my perfectly good job, and I started working for myself, and I made it so that everything I did could be done from anywhere, and I worked from Croatia for 3 months, and I did that myself through that kind of mindset change. Otherwise I would have been too scared and worried. So, yeah, all right, now I'm going to just ask us all to have a little recap, if we can, about, just give us one sort of, a quick one sentence or a one-liner of a tool that people can take and use to really get out of their comfort zone and get off to a networking event. Daniel, something.
A concept that I've often used is be the network. And what I mean by that is quite often, we might be networking and we've been to plenty of events and we've met a lot of people, and those people are there until you need them. And I think that's maybe a bit of an error right there, because of course use them when you need them, but by being a network and being able to refer people, you meet someone and go, oh, I actually know someone that can help you out. And that person you met the other night, all of a sudden you go, oh, hey, they didn't expect your phone call. Thanks so much. You're connecting to other people.
Yes, great.
Did you get commercial gain out of that? No. Will you get commercial gain out of that? Absolutely. Because the next time that they're remembering, oh, wow, that was fantastic. Dan actually referred me on through no gain of his own. I might jump on board and use what he's doing, or refer someone to him.
Nice.
So be the network. It's really important.
Fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
Nico.
Well, I reckon that my biggest asset is my diary, my scheduler, because if it's in there, if I've got an appointment to go somewhere and meet with people, then I do that. I'm actually more committed to do something for somebody else than I am for doing it for me.
Yes.
I think that's fairly standard. In a way.
And you end up
So
gaining from
rather
that.
than just sort of thinking in my head, oh gosh, it would really help me to go out and network, put a date down, have it there, committed, and go it, do it.
Yes.
Diary.
Adam?
Yeah, I think, as I said before, be comfortable being uncomfortable, and just get out there, just do it. It's you can sit behind a computer, but for an hour, and you might get a bit of data in, but an hour networking is, it's kind of an ounce of networking is worth a pound of business to me.
Yes. Awesome.
And be prepared. Go in there, make sure you've got your business cards. I can't tell you how many people I've been to and I say, oh, have you got a business card? Oh no, I haven't got any tonight. So it's really important to make sure you've got tools that are going to help you succeed as well. Don't go in there thinking, what am I going to get out of this tonight? I'm going in to seal the deal, so to speak. Go in there, like Daniel said, how you can help them as well, because it's going to come back to you tenfold, I can guarantee.
Yes. Talk about be prepared. Yes, definitely be prepared. But don't worry about being a perfectionist. That's the other thing. I actually didn't have business cards for a while, but I still started.
Yep.
So if you haven't got them, don't make that the reason not to go. But, I mean, honestly,
make a little, you might be able to take something along.
that's right.
Type it
yes.
on a piece of paper or something.
But I've got to tell you that I didn't have the business name Stronger Than My Excuses until 1 week ago. So talk about just getting in there and starting, and that's what I did. I do have it now, so don't. But but you know what my main point is to switch your brain to think writing with your left hand or your opposite hand, and then taking an action and having your anchor thoughts. So look, I'd really love to thank you all for joining us. Now I've just got to check my notes here. Right, so I really hope that everyone will come back and watch us again next week. I want to tell you what our topic is. Next week it is self-doubt and fear, believe in yourself. And we have our guests, the Deputy Mayor, James Smith of the Central Coast Council, and President of the Wyong Regional Chamber of Commerce, who is Matt Lusted. So remember that you can watch this through YouTube, through Facebook, through LinkedIn, or there'll be links, all over social media, and also on podcast. Please don't forget, ask a question, leave comments, share, like. It all helps us to promote the show and get this message out to as many people as possible. And I'd like to thank again our guests, Daniel Farmer, Nico Davies-Cooke, Adam Rice, and Sharon Burgess. Thank you all for being here. And I do just want to mention that although we're here to offer information about a better mindset, if you are in need of any more support or urgent need, please remember that you can always call Lifeline on 131114. So we'll see you all next week. Thank you. Bye.